rob and duplicate, reverse engineer. I go on, I use Google, I search for terms in my industry and I see if anybody's running ads for a beacon lead magnet. I go on my competitors' websites, I look under resources and I see what are they giving away. Hi, I'm Dan Martell, and this is the SaaS Growth Show by SaaS Academy. And in this video, I'm going to share with you my very proprietary custom beacon lead magnet framework. It's how I've been able to generate hundreds of lead magnets, literally taking very little time. Like most lead magnets take me less than an hour, but the beauty is that it's been able to generate millions of dollars in profit for my companies. And I've taught this to hundreds of internal clients within SaaS Academy. It's never been made public, but I wanted to share this as we launched the new YouTube channel. Be sure to stay to the end. We're going to talk to you more about the lead gen summer campaign we got going on right now to make lead gen an issue of the past for you. Grab your notebook and let's get into it. The Beacon Lead Magnet Builder is a cornerstone marketing component to demand generation in a SaaS company. Okay. Some people can't appreciate how important this is, but I know all of the success of my clients come from creating demand, and it sits on the basis of the Beacon Lead Magnet Builders. Here's the challenge. Okay. I want to ask you guys all in the chat to answer this question. What's the hardest part about building? The building part of a beacon lead magnet, okay? Or a lead magnet. If you don't know what a lead magnet is, we'll get into it. But what is the hardest part about creating an asset, a resource that your customers trade you their contact information, or the traffic trades you the contact information for that resource? What's the hardest part for you? I've got Trent saying know what to build. Totally get that one. Evan, something that only they will want, no one else. Ooh, that's a good one. Martin, what to make? Perfect. Ryan, editing it down. Got it. Brian says where to start. Ron says, what do we build? Content says Brent. Jay, what topic to cover? Virgil, the actual content, the messaging says Luke. The color block and test makes a lot easier. Trent, yeah, totally true. Valued content, what they really want. I'm going to give you it all today. That is my commitment. I will deliver on that promise. Now, a few challenges that you're probably running into. Some of you guys wrote them down in the chat. If you have an answer to answer in the chat. Number one, writer's block. I want to create this resource that people are willing to trade me their contact information to download, but I don't know what to write. I'm going to teach you guys a framework for making this brain dead simple. Number two, I got the thing created, but I got no downloads. Okay. It's like building a warehouse ready to collect all these amazing customers that are supposed to show up, but you ain't got nobody in the warehouse. Nobody showed up. Nobody downloaded. Nobody gave you their email. We're going to fix that problem. Or that you've got people showing up, but they ain't doing anything that's making your business better. They're not driving action. It is not designed to drive customer demand because something's off. This is a real world example, okay? A place called Wharf Cafe, not too far from here. My friends Wade and Gene own this cafe. They've never asked me for business advice, so I don't give it. My rule is I want to be the lighthouse, pun intended. Just realized that it was in their logo, not the tugboat, okay? But if they ask me, I would tell them a simple answer, which is nobody knows you guys exist. They literally have a green shack on the wharf. They sell coffee, but nobody sees their logo because everybody drives backwards down that road and the sign is that facing the opposite side of where the traffic's going. They've never asked me. I've never told them, but I know what the problem is. The other thing is check this out. Gene, amazing. They're both retired. They decided to retire in this beautiful beach community and create this little coffee shop. Gene makes everything by hand. All the little pastries in that little cabinet there, that glass cabinet, all made by Gene with love. All organic products, okay? Handmade, not store-bought, made organically. Do you guys see any of that on the signs? Well, let me tell you, it's not there. Maybe you can't read that small. So they have a problem that the thing they created isn't working. It's not driving action. Some of you have this problem with your lead magnets. They're being downloaded, but they're not driving trials. They're not driving demand for demos, et cetera. We're going to solve that today so that you can create something that just floods your pipeline with new opportunities. My promise. Number one, content clarity. I'm going to show you by number, paint by number, this section, this section, this section. We're going to deconstruct. I'm going to tell you why it's important. Okay. I'm going to give you content clarity for how to name it, what to put in it, how it all works together. Number two is I'm going to teach you a framework to assess, is this the right thing that's going to be valuable to my market? Will it create value? Just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin on its own doesn't create value, but it's the desire of Bitcoin that makes it valuable. So if there's no desire, it isn't valuable. Some of you guys have great things you've put together that adds a lot of value, but you didn't package it in a way that creates value, or it's not easy to understand, so people don't consume it. Okay. And at the end of the day, marketing's job, if you're in charge of marketing or you have a marketing director, their number one job is very simple: to generate demand. Okay. So everybody, if you get this, their job is to create a resource that is so valuable to the market that you serve that they line up, just like In-N-Out. How many people have been to In-N-Out? Type In-N-Out in the chat. If you've been to In-N-Out, type it in the chat. I want to know. Greg was quick to put his hand up. Double animal style, anybody? In-N-Out, In-N-Out, In-N-Out. Come on. Perfect. So then you've probably experienced the In-N-Out lineup. Okay. I don't have lineups like that at other burger joints, but In-N-Out it's a spot, right? I want your beacon lead magnet to be thebomb.com. Okay. I want it to be so good that people talk about it in your market, and people that don't even use your product. Because I believe if we do it right, our marketing will serve more people than our product ever will. Okay. If we do it right, and we're going to create demand. So how many new leads do you want to generate next month through your beacon lead magnet? Write a number below in the chat. How many new contacts do you want to collect next month in your business through a powerful beacon lead magnet? I want to hear from everybody in the chat. Martin says 100 leads a month. Perfect. Patrick, 1,000. Virgil, 100. Adam, 100. Chrissy, 100. Brent, 50. Luke, 50. Jay, 50. Trent, 500. Member Meister, maybe a rename there. 100. Evan, 30. Igor, 100. Komal. Again, if you could rename yourselves to first name at company, that would be amazing. AR says 50. Jenny says 1,000. Perfect. Okay. I can deliver on the beacon lead magnet. Okay. And we'll talk about how to get demand for it. But I want to give you a quick case study. It's one of my favorite ones. Okay. And I have I think I have the link open. Perfect. Ambition is a software for sales teams I'll just go to their website so you guys can see it. Okay. So they're an enterprise gamification sales team product. Okay. They're a SaaS product for that. So they have a resource section for templates on their website. Okay. I'm going to pull it back up. I think I can do this. Let me see if I can move back and go back. Perfect. So they have a section called templates. Now check out all these templates. Scorecard template for BAMs. I don't know what BAMs is, but I'm assuming if I was a sales leader, I would probably know what a BAMs is. Scorecard template for Toast. I'm starting to see maybe there's a pattern. Maybe they created a sales template for all different products. Maybe Toast is a sales methodology, right? Exactly. Maybe it's a CRM. I don't know, but they've created all these templates. And they have different sections for these templates. They have coaching templates. Look at this. So I want to ask you guys in the chat, why do you think this is so interesting for me to teach you guys? What do you like about what they did? If you just look at the scorecards, templates, the gamification templates, contest templates, why do you think this is interesting? What do you like about this in regards to generating demand? I want to hear from everybody in the chat. What do you like about this? I've got Greg says to rename yourself. Oh, sorry. Wider net says Paul. Yeah. Choose your own adventure of Beacon Lead Mag says Adam. Yep. Brent, share. I like the share button. Yep. You can get dialed in persona info. Yep. Something for everyone. Yep. Yep. CYOA. Patrick says, choose your own adventure. Here's why it's powerful. Few things. One, they created templates to do the thing that you could do manually that your software automates. Why is that important? Because I want to attract people that are in market for my solution, even if they don't realize it, because they're at least in market to solve the problem they've discussed that my product can solve. That's the big idea. 2, each one of these lead magnets stand alone on their own page. So guess what they do with every one of those dozens of Beacon lead magnets? Does anybody want to guess what they do with them? Post it in the chat below. What do you think they do with each one of them? What are they doing with those Beacon lead magnets? Brian, they're collecting your info. Yeah. What else are they doing? What can they do with that? They run ads toward them. Okay. Luke says run ads. They run ads for every search term that people are in market looking for it. They market it, they promote it, right? They create content around them and then embed them as the download in the content, right? They own the landing page. Like, this is the powerful thing. If you have a marketing person on your team and they're not thinking this way, they don't understand how demand is created. Demand generation is what the marketing department should be called for a SaaS company, okay? We need to collect the email, put them through a nurturing campaign and get them on demos or set them into a trial. But this is how we capture 70% of the traffic coming to our website that are not ready to buy. This is how we create the content required for Facebook ads, for LinkedIn ads, for YouTube ads, for partner emails, for things we give away at a trade show, right? Like all of these Beacon lead magnets, you only need one. That's the cool part. And we'll talk about it to really create demand. Okay. So that is one of my favorite B2B SaaS companies, Beacon lead magnets, is Ambition. Okay. Other ones, go look at HubSpot resources, but we'll talk about the 5th hot principle today to dive into this. Okay. So number 1 is the Beacon lead magnet. Okay. If you don't know what a Beacon lead magnet is, I'm just going to give you the quick and dirty. It's a resource or an asset that we offer to a visitor in exchange for their email. Okay. Because like I said, 70% of people going to your website, visiting a landing page are not ready to sign up for your product or do a demo or get a trial. Okay. They are in a role. And if you have something that's valuable enough to them, they will make that exchange. All of you guys are on this call probably because we made that exchange. If you've downloaded before you became a customer, one of my resources, post it in the chat. Yes, that's me. Did you do that in the chat? Luke says, yeah, Patrick, me. Do you always gate it though, Amanda? Yes. Ryan, say what? Guilty. Yupper. Da, 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 da. I know it because I follow all of our marketing. I know where the demand comes from. Yes, downloaded 15. There we go. Garrett downloaded 15 of mine before he became a customer. I don't gate all my content. I do gate my Beacon lead magnets. Okay. So you can create blog posts around this strategically. That's the different training, but Beacon lead magnets, I always gate, because if you come and go and I don't get your email, then I can't build a relationship with you. So make it SAGE. SAGE stands for, write this down, everybody, short. Okay. It has to be short. Nobody wants to read an ebook. You're asking what I do. Okay. Sure, people tell you to do video courses and ebooks and build micro apps. I'm going to give you the 90-10. I'm going to give you 10% of the work that gives you 90% of the effort. Okay. SAGE, short, actionable, goal-oriented. Okay. Goal-oriented means I have a role to do. I have an outcome I want to achieve. You're going to help me get that outcome. And easy means you're not going to make me jump through hoops to get a result. Okay. Short, actionable, goal-oriented, and easy. If you could write that in the chat so I know that you got it. This thing, does everybody know what that thing is on the screen? People from the East Coast definitely should probably know what that is. Okay, if you know what that is in the chat, type the answer. What is that? The thing on the screen in front of you. Lobster pick, says Jay. Quick on the draw. I appreciate that. It is a lobster pick. A lobster pick is SAGE. Okay. And guess where they promote them? At the counter when I buy lobster. Okay. They know who I am. They know what problem I'm probably going to run into. And they inserted it at the perfect location for me to buy. Do you think a fisherman buys a lobster toothpick? A fisherman out on the boat harvesting lobster? No. Some of you guys are advertising your lead magnets to the wrong customer and you're getting downloads and it's creating noise in your marketing automation. Okay. You got to create something that is short, actionable, goal oriented, and easy, like this lobster pick. Okay. I paid 60 cents last night for a little red lobster pick, just like this, because I didn't have one and I needed one. Okay. So we got to make it short, actionable, goal oriented, and easy. Okay. We do not want to make it a video series. We don't want to make it complicated. We don't want to make it a big guide. We want to keep it short, actionable, goal oriented, easy. Number two, it has to be double aligned. Okay. What do I mean by double aligned? You have two things you're trying to do with your beacon lead magnet. You're trying to attract the right customer in the role. So if you sell enterprise, it's the champion. Okay. So if you follow any sales process, they usually talk about a champion. You want to attract the champion with your beacon lead magnet, or you want to attract the customer role, whoever you're selling to. Okay. And only sell to them and only make it for them. And I'll show you a ton of examples. Even in my world where I only focus on B2B SaaS founders, a lot of my beacon lead magnets are relevant to non-SaaS and other roles in the business. But if you look at my ads, you look at my landing page, you look at my copy, it says SaaS founders, SaaS founders only. Don't read this if you're a SaaS founder. Why do I do that? I don't want to pay for the click. I don't want to cloud my marketing automation. I know who I sell to. Okay. So that's one. You have to be role aligned. The role you're selling to has to align with the lead magnet. Two, it needs to be product aligned, meaning that I'm not going to create a SaaS churn calculator if I'm trying to, even though I'll get a bunch of downloads from SaaS founders, if I'm selling to a revenue or to an HR SaaS person in a business. Okay. Some of you guys are creating beacon lead magnets that are interesting, that will get downloaded, but they're not aligned with your product. Okay. If I have an HR product, my beacon lead magnets should be relevant or related to the product. As you saw with Ambition, all their templates are sales leader focused, are things that the products help people do automated or digitally that they're going to download a template to do manually. You guys get there's two things that have to be true. It has to be role, has to be product. And if you do that, you will create quality demand. If you focus, it's just like asking, I always ask myself, what does a customer do to get ready to use my product? If I was going camping, that's why I use this image. I'm going camping. Think about if I sold camping gear. I've never gone camping before. Somebody that wants to get my attention to sell me a bunch of camping gear would have stuff like, the camping checklist. Okay. Maybe the first time sleeping outside overnight checklist, because that would be me right now. I have slept outside overnight. Or maybe, hiking your first Mount Rainier, right? Checklist. What to pack when hiking Mount Rainier. A planner, a hiking planner, right? How to prepare, how to show up, how to make sure you don't leave a footprint, right? There's all these things that somebody that's about to go do an activity got anxiety around that they need to, if you offer them some kind of resource, a checklist, a template, a blueprint, a script, right? They would love. Does that make sense? We ask ourselves, what would they do to get ready to use our product? Right. So if I have a CRM, well, it's in the sales space. What are some scripts I could give them? A sales script, a renewal script, anything that's CRM related, because if they have those problems, then they probably don't have the best CRM and I can get them to transition into my product to get a demo. Okay. So two things have to be doubly aligned. Does everybody get that? Thumbs up to the camera if you guys are on board. All right. JP, Virgil, Brian, I appreciate that. Number three, we got to test the name. Got to test the name. If you guys think writing a book is easy, you guys are crazy. Okay. Think about the competition on the shelf. When somebody goes in the bookstore, the name matters. What you give it as a name, if you give it a bad name, nobody will want it. Okay. And you might have an opinion because you're a tech nerd like me and you want to give it a really techie name. It does not work. Your name has to make it desirable. The way I test the name is I will email people that are customers and I will ask them if they want a copy. So Brian Lee, would you like a copy of my Rocket Demo Builder? Right? It's going to help you close sales twice as fast in half the time. Right? Double your win rates in half the time. Interested? Yep. All right. You do this. You can literally just ask yourself, these are 25 prospects. I'm going to see if they want the thing. And I'm just going to email them, ask them, hey, I created this template. I created this resource. Do you want a copy? And if only 2%, 5% reply wanting it, it's probably not that valuable. It's not that interesting. And if you're going to expect them to open it up to see how cool it is, they're not even going to get there because the name didn't do it. Okay. If I said to JP, do you want an Airtable with 25 Facebook ad examples from the top SaaS companies in the world? Would you like that, JP? Yes? Perfect. What do you think my response rate on that kind of stuff is? 80% of people are like, yeah, please send it over. You did all this work to put this together? Yeah, I want it because I'm doing Facebook ads. If I had a product that helped people run Facebook ads, I would do that kind of beacon lead magnet, right? Because it's so valuable. You've created something that people can take action on. It's short, it's easy, it's goal-oriented, etc. So we got to test the name. We R&D it. Here's an advanced way that I do this. You go on my LinkedIn, you will see that I post resources on LinkedIn and I say, leave a comment below if you want a copy. So that does two things. One, it tests the idea before I actually create it. That's bananas. So you can test it before you build it. And two, if it works on LinkedIn, then I move it to the paid marketing team and we start running ads against it. But if it doesn't pop on LinkedIn, we don't put it into the pipeline to run ads against it. If you want to dive into that a bit more, it's called the LinkedIn viral post training. But that's the way I test the name. I test the concepts before I build things. Okay. But if the name isn't working, rework the name. You can have a beacon lead magnet, give it a better name, and it'll start working for you. Number 4, conversion flow. Here's the reality, is when somebody downloads the beacon lead magnet, that is the most optimal time to get them to do the next action, okay? If you depend on an email after the fact to bring them back to a page to do something for you, then you're gonna lose the opportunity. It's simple math. Think about it. If I get 100 people download a beacon lead magnet, and then I send it to them in the thank you page, and then via email, I ask them if they want to book a demo. Well, first off, average open rates are 20%. So that means out of 100, only 20 open. Average click-through rates are 2%. So out of 20 that opened, only 4 clicked. And the conversion page on the landing page is probably 30%. So that means I might get 1 out of 100. Versus using the funnel of add or download thank you page, giving it to them on the thank you page, prompting there and moving them forward. And in the beacon lead magnet, have clear call to actions to book the call or start the trial in the PDF. Okay. Some of you guys are not doing this. And if you don't have a conversion flow. The way I think about it is that marketing is the intersection between content and a next action. And if you don't have a clear, defined next action item for anything you put out in the world, then you're not doing marketing. You're just creating content. Marketing is having a clear next action. And if you download a beacon lead magnet of mine, have a very clear next step. And for all of us on this call, you're either getting them into a trial because you have a SMB product, you're asking them to schedule a demo because you have a mid-market product, or you're asking them to get on a strategy session to talk about proof of concept for an enterprise customer. Those are your only call to actions you should be entertaining. And honestly, 80% of my customers are mid-market, so you should be pushing to a demo, but you can use this process for a trial as well. It works the exact same, okay? So make sure that you have the conversion flow dialed in. We'll go through through some examples so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay, but this is super important. The beacon lead magnet will not generate demand if you don't think about this. And number 5, this is the big one. Okay, if you guys want to shortcut all this like thinking and hard creative process, just R&D it. Rob and duplicate, reverse engineer. I use Google, I search for terms in my industry and I see if anybody's running ads for a beacon lead magnet. I go on my competitors' websites, I look under resources, and I see what are they giving away, right? What are they using to collect? HubSpot, you can go on their blog and it's resources, it's all there. And trust that if it's listed at the top, it's because it catches the best lead sources. So if it's at the top and it's promoted the most, it's probably the most powerful one. Some of us are working harder than we have to. Find the thought leaders that have already spent the money on ads, that have already figured out what the market wants, and R&D it, put your own twist on it, use your own software, follow the builder that I've just outlined for you, the 5 steps, and I guarantee you will succeed at generating sub $10 leads. That's the goal. I want to get a lead for less than 10 bucks. Okay. If you're enterprise, it might cost you 30 or 50, but that's okay because they're worth $70,000 to you. I really hope you enjoyed that training. This is all part of the lead gen summer. For the next 3 months, every week we're going to be releasing very powerful strategies to grow lead gen. Next week, we've got Coach Marcel back talking about the top of funnel scaling. We're going to break down the pyramid for how to scale. We're going to look at high tempo testing and specifically the channels that you could be using to really take advantage of your top of funnel marketing activities. And if lead gen is the #1 bottleneck in your business right now, I want to invite you to check out the lead gen lightning bolt stack. It's one of the most powerful groups of trainings and frameworks that we put together. It's got incredible playbooks, very specific templates, and full process for you to just deploy and get results in your business. Click the link below to check that out. It is one of the most powerful programs we put together to help you make lead gen a problem of the past. Click the link, check it out, and I'll see you next week.